Let's talk.
Ms. Clerk,
Hey, Beth.
call this meeting to order. Ms. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Rhodey,
Present.
Alderman Boyd,
Present.
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Present.
Alderwoman Howard,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Murphy,
Here.
Alderman Kotar, Alderman Oldenburg, Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Present.
Alderman Tyus, Alderman Kotar, Alderman Oldenburg. You have seven, Mr. President, President Reed,
Here.
you have 8 present.
All right, quorum being present. Did we have any requests for excused absence today? All right, so we'll take that up later. Okay. All right, entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of, December 3rd.
Third. Second.
Been moved by the Alderman 23rd, seconded by Alderman 14th. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Rhodey,
Aye.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderman Kotar, Alderman Oldenburg, Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye.
With 8 aye votes.
By vote, the same motion on 23rd, motion carries. We're gonna, skip items 5 and 6. Item number 7. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we discussed the handbook some time ago, and we've had it before us several times. And we did, the handbook was noted in the Missouri State Auditor's report. Also, there's a copy of both the handbook and the report, the auditor's report, in your packet. The board did get a good standing. There are 4 categories: excellent, good, fair, and poor. And the board got good out of those 4. Very few did excellent, but the board did get good. The staff did work very hard to make sure we got there. What helped was the implementation of agendas and minutes for committee meetings, and the changes in the notices of the meetings and how things were more quickly added to the website. They did cite several things. One, we have to be careful about, when you go into closed session, discussing the items on the closed session and not other items. Many of the conversations, once the meetings have been closed, have been beyond the reason for closing or having a closed session. They cited that as one of the issues.
How did they know?
How would they know?
Well, yeah, the auditors come in also asking questions about complaints or things that people have come to them about the Board of Aldermen or a particular office.
So even if there wasn't anything, they would probably make a recommendation that that doesn't happen in closed session. I don't think it was a specific thing that they cited.
That, also part of the auditor's report, you will see the response from the clerk. I found it very interesting that they knew, for example, that the board had started minutes and agendas, but they did cite the board for not having it. What they said was that the board didn't have it at the beginning of the fiscal year. We did have it at the beginning of the legislative year. And as you know, those do crisscross each other,
Right.
they're not consummate. And so because it didn't begin at the beginning of the fiscal year, it still became a citation as something needed. Nor did they say in their report that
We had it,
they had it.
yeah.
So they leave it up to that office to respond and practically, basically defend yourself.
And I'm reading your answer to it, it's very good.
But it did not lead to being a poor standing. It
Yeah.
was still very good, a good standing is what we got in the report.
So, which is outstanding because very few people get it.
Very few.
Yeah, so.
Because one of the things as we reported earlier, one of the things we did early was get in there and get into all those files and archives and reorganize them, so when they asked for stuff, we were able to go at least find some of the basic information.
That was a blessing.
Yeah, it was those 470 boxes that were moved out of there, and that's been completely reorganized. We worked April 4 Griffin's son
Oh,
out of the building.
Yeah,
And he
he-
did an internship with us over the summer.
Wow.
He came,
But he enjoyed himself, he's a big guy.
he came and took one of my shovels. Go ahead.
But there were files back there from the 1930s that had not been moved yet. There were photographs and all like that. So, the other thing that was a plus for the board is that we had started a handbook before the audit report. What they were saying is that since the board is not civil service, you need a handbook that indicates what are the various policies. And we started that immediately when we came in a new session. And so that also helped get that good report. So they do cite us, the board, for not having it because it was not at the beginning of the fiscal year. But the fact that it had begun and they were seeing parts of it because we sent them the draft did lead towards the good standard. So that also segues us back into the handbook that we do need to adopt at some point.
Where does it say in here that it's good standing, or is that what each letter is?
Where is it saying, the audit report?
Yeah, I would certainly like to put that out.
Second page says good.
Yeah,
Good standing.
yeah.
And then it explains what that means.
On the inside, just check.
But she read
Look to your right. Look to your right,
So this, oh,
in that
I'll
box.
turn it on both this side.
Yeah, in that box.
I'm, okay.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Was that his question?
That was perfect. Go
So
ahead.
we only have two little things that,
That's very good.
that's very good considering what we've been through.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I
Considering what I
might
walked
actually
into.
put that
But
out.
that's
In
what I'm
April.
saying, what we've been through, what you.
Yeah.
When I walked into that office, there were files sitting there from
So see
19
here, our overall,
It was good. Yeah, I see, there's the good.
Thank you.
and that's what good
Excellent.
means.
So, and so it was a fair report, that's good.
Offing, I mean, did you know that they were coming in and how?
I didn't know how soon they were gonna come, but I knew that, at the time that we started, that the new session started, they were at the treasurer's office.
How did
I
that
was
turn
hoping they
out?
would stay there for months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
But
just
they,
curious how the police and the treasurer and everybody,
I don't know how their final report is.
I still think the police are gonna be a disaster. How do you get,
But they do, as you said, they do make a statement about the personnel manual in the state auditor's report. They said the board has not adopted a written personnel report, though they knew it was in process because they saw a copy of it and got minutes from the meetings where it was discussed. So since those things were in progress, that led to it being a good report, but we do need to adopt it.
thank you for leading us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, good job. Great job.
So do we need another meeting we can come back to that in another meeting, because we do need to get to that, unless someone wants to make a motion.
well, I'll make a motion, we adopt the handbook.
The move,
Second?
second,
Oh, I mean, I,
want to just adopt it now?
I'd like to adopt it now.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderman Rhodey,
Aye.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Murphy,
I,
Right through this and on.
Alderman Kotar, Oldenburg,
Marked up copy.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
I. Okay, so I
President Reed,
Aye.
Alderman Kotar, Middlebrook. You have 9 aye votes.
Stay in the motion.
Mr. President, I just wanted to briefly say to you that in my talking to various employees, they're ecstatic about having a handbook. And I asked them for comments, and so it makes me feel comfortable.
The staff was involved in the writing of the handbook. We met, they put their input in and all of that, so it helped shape
Well, you
it.
could tell as they talked about it.
So would we be like I know with the police net, where we make them sign off that they got it and read it?
Yes,
So you're gonna sign
they'll have a
a
signed
statement from
section.
each one saying they received it?
So they received it in the date.
Okay, cool.
Also in your packet should be, let me see, Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please.
So I wanted to ask about voting, because Missouri law says you get 3 hours to vote. Some of our employees come in at 8 and some of them come in at 9, right? So we give them an hour, so, let's see, so if you come in at 8, 6, because voting starts at 6.
Yeah.
So we have to give them 2 hours if they come in at 8. That's what I wanted to, that was,
Right.
because we have to give them
You
3
have to give
hours. So then if they come at 8, excuse me, I think we need to amend that. Excuse me. We need to amend that, because we just had given them 1, and then we will be in violation of Missouri law. So just want to bring that up, that's on page.
That's page.
Just
Which
adopt.
page is it?
Page is that on, Alderwoman?
I'm feeling harassed in here. I'm feeling harassed because I read. I'm trying to make us look good.
Yeah,
Page 21.
Right.
page
They
21.
come in at 8 and we give them 1 hour.
That's not giving them 3, because it's 6.
See, it would have been up for 2 hours.
Page 21, okay.
Let me see.
Oh, voting,
6.
okay.
So okay, maybe we're right. Okay, so we give them at 6. So 6, 7, 8. So they can come in at 9.
Right,
Okay, but the people who come in at 9, they don't need to be given any.
Right.
Okay, that's what I meant to say. I
That's
said it
what you
backwards, right.
meant to
So
Okay.
the ones that come in at 9 don't need to be given any
'Cause they
time,
would've
because
already
they already
had
have
the
the
3.
3 hours, right. And I'm still feeling harassed though, but Mr. Clark. And see, Carol, she knows what we do on rules, so.
So we fine?
So it's okay. We're okay with
I
it.
also have, as a part of your packet, the report on the charge that you gave the clerk to look at the Citizen Service Bureau, CRM system. It did do so. I met and had a really long discussion with Essence Owens, who's the new director over there. She was very excited about their program. You know, these are what they call customer relations management systems, and they're designed to integrate how you interface with your clients and customers. And it both tracks and provides data and streams of communications and the rest. So there were 5 or about 7 areas that they use it, or components of a system that's called NICE in Contact is the system that they're presently using. There's a written report in your
Yeah, nice, I see
packet.
that.
They're using, it has components. And the components that they're using is login verification for their employees when they come in, remote access. They can access this thing because it's in the cloud from their homes. And they say there are days when there's inclement weather, that they don't come in, but they still work that day from
I
home
get it. Oh,
by
that-
connecting to the cloud. It gives them a centralized communication center. The phone calls come in there, are logged there, their emails, chat services all come into there. So it provides a place of compilation of information. And then the service requests go out there as well as analytics. It gives them the opportunity, because everything comes into this centralized place, to be able to analyze data. How many people have called on this, what type of people, where they come from, all that kind of business. But it also gives them information distribution. This thing does rolling calls and pushes out emails. They said now the building division and the St. Louis area agency on aging also uses this same program, but they don't all use the same components. CSB pays about $30,000 a year for the lease on this thing. They said the one they really liked was called, it has another name, but that Salesforce.
Salesforce, it says here.
Yeah.
But they were looking for something a lot cheaper. They said with the components that they wanted, it was almost $500,000.
Whoa,
That's what she said. They talked to several other departments about possibly
sharing it, yes.
So the recommendation based upon this, it seems like it will have some application for the board, is for us to look into it further, look at various types of programs, and then by going over there and actually viewing what they have. And she was very happy that we were talking.
The way our reports are done now, I like it better. And that helps them too in developing the reports
You
that we
mean
get.
from our NSOs?
Mhm.
I have a question. You said that various departments, St. Louis Agency on Aging and,
The building division.
okay. Now, let me ask you this. I don't know if you know this, but does Does Slade use this to contact seniors to make sure that, like wellness check kind of thing?
She said that's one of the components that they use it for.
Does the fire department use this also? Do you know?
She didn't say that the fire department was one, she only listed those two. Those are just the building in St. Louis area. She said there was
There's-
one other that was looking at it.
There's some, this is the, Red Tail is what we use, but this is my CRM that I use now for my private business. You can actually get them on your phone and stuff, so I can send emails to, all this stuff.
Like
on the
email
phones.
blasts?
Yeah, oh yeah, you can do all this
But
stuff.
that's your business then?
Yeah, this is my business one.
Yeah, see,
but
that
I'm
would
just-
be good if we would have access to that to stay in contact with our constituents.
Yeah, that's one of the components that you
It's-
could get.
Yeah, it's really good for kind of complaint tracking and stuff
I mean,
like
because some
that.
of us pay for services to stay in touch, like constant contact and everything, and it's like, if we
Usually
have
those-
this and it
Yeah,
has.
usually you'll have to get an interface, so it depends on how they're all set up. So
That's what I said.
these are usually, the CRMs are usually standalone and then they interface with Constant Contact or
Right.
Mail, what's the, MailChimp or Chimp?
MailChimp, yeah.
MailChimp or whatever.
And this is a standalone also, but it does interface with other city systems. They can. But one of those really nice features, is the fact they can do this thing remotely.
Yeah,
Don't
and
have to be-
Salesforce is, based in San Francisco, is probably the number one.
That's the number one.
But, yeah, number one CRM, but it is very, very
Wouldn't it be
expensive.
exciting if we could ever get all these different departments in the same system so that everything is integrated?
I can't understand why we got so many disjointed systems
It's
and
just-
programs. I mean, having been an employee of St. Louis Public Schools and how much flack we got from City Hall about how mismanaged, our systems ran together
Way
and
better.
we could communicate with each other. We had one central bookkeeping thing and we knew but I guess, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
poke the bear in the eye, but
Mhm.
I think, City Hall could take a lesson on having some.
So
some
do you
smoother
plan to have
running
continued
systems.
conversations about this?
That would be the recommendation, that
Okay.
we go and visit and see what they have and get a better understanding, and then start looking at other systems. And you might even want from this committee to select some individuals from the
Would
committee
there be
to
a
work with us on
cost
that.
to the Board of Aldermen also?
There would be a cost.
Okay, well,
But there may be a way, because she said that they are looking at doing something using a different system than the one they presently have. There may be a way we can partner, but we can look and see.
Is everyone individually licensed? Do you know if they charge per license or,
Each department has their own separate license.
but I mean,
You mean
is
each
it like
individual?
each person had, so,
You understand, she didn't really have that information.
Like how many users on that
Yeah,
license?
if
That's what
each
asking Joe.
Yeah.
individual user has a license, she didn't know.
I know, I looked at Salesforce a couple years ago, and I mean, Salesforce was $100, $150 a person.
A person.
Per month.
Wow,
Ooh,
per
jeez.
month.
So they're talking about,
Right.
but they would give discounts for non-for-profits and public entities, but it was still very
Way
expensive.
up
But
there.
you start getting, $1,000 a head of license per year, and you got, 30 or 40 of us over here, that's an extra $30,000 or $40,000.
She said they're paying $30,000 for it.
So is there any action that you need us to take, or you
No,
just?
this is, you
it's
asked
just
me to
a written
report back
report?
with the
Okay.
information, so the written report is before you, I just wanted to point those things out and make the recommendation that we look further, we get more information.
Well, we do appreciate you getting us into at least the conversation so we can move forward. So the next item on the agenda is employee compensation.
It is, I want to point out just one other thing before then.
Go right ahead.
Somewhat connects to the handbook. At the very back of the packet, I just had some ideas related, with the passing of Alderman Moore.
Oh,
Yeah,
If we
Yes.
recognized that the board had no written policy or process as it relates to recognizing or memorializing somebody who is a sitting alderperson. And so at the back of here, because this is administration committee, I just made some recommendations on things that could be done. We immediately, for example, had the mayor direct them to lower the
Lower the
flag.
flag, right.
we spoke to him about putting the bunting out front,
Right.
here in front of the
In the
board.
front here, good.
The bunting here it's really just a black piece of cloth that was held in
Yes.
the back. We're thinking about, well, we need to do something with the desk. you
Right,
know.
that's what I,
Put some strip or something across it to
Across the
recognize,
desk.
memorialize it. Then we know that the family is having their services, but every alderperson is not gonna be able to speak at that. So part of the recommendation would be is that the board itself, at the beginning of one of its meetings,
right,
regular Friday meetings, give the opportunity for all the people to say some words about the person. And then you could even invite the family, put some flowers on their desk, and memorialize them that way. We're also recommending, and these are just ideas, of making a standard to do a resolution that goes to the family, and possibly the flag of the city. You know,
Ooh.
we sometimes,
That's a
I
great
like that.
idea.
sometimes play this board short. And it is the legislative body of the city.
That's
And it
right.
should mean something, that a family has really sacrificed
right,
their
right.
their family member to do this work, because, you know, it does
Sure.
require support from the family. And so just the idea of giving something back to them for
I
that
like
service.
A flower or maybe a brick. I was gonna bring a brick. I really was.
But we need something that is standard. Because
Right.
when
I
you
like
get
the
into
flag
these
idea.
I like the
situations,
city flag,
yeah,
maybe folded, you know.
when you get into this place, you don't want to have to start coming up with stuff. You're already struggling with the laws.
Right,
If
right.
you have a system in place, it's just a matter of following it. And it makes it easier for you to recognize and memorialize the person. So it's just some ideas there. I just want to point it out that I did write it up for us. It's about 9 different points.
This I like right here, where you says the program will be held after the funeral held by the family.
Yes.
Getting in front of the family and
No.
it now is just not
Not right.
healthy.
No.
Okay, good point.
It would not help the family.
No,
Because they certainly might want to be here,
right.
Right.
but they
right.
haven't done what they can do for the person. So that's what I'm saying.
And that's
after
why
the-
you see memorials done anywhere from 2 weeks to a month after the
After.
funeral.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Now, there's going to be the tendency of board members to want to say something as soon as possible. But I think with a little restraint, we can not get ahead of the family and do it in a very respectful manner.
At this time, we don't know what the plans are, do we?
Well, we can just do what we normally do, is say we lost a colleague, a moment of silence, that's all we can do.
that's what we
That's
would do
right.
tomorrow.
Right,
Yeah.
and then don't do anything else, everybody knows, well, cause we're not gonna speak now,
Right.
and we're gonna do this later.
Right.
So,
I-
but that's,
I like this proposal. Do we want to adopt this, or do we want to have time to look at it?
we can implement any parts that we want
Right,
right
Madam
now,
Chair.
but I think further discussion may be,
Further discussion can always happen, but this is a very good beginning.
I agree.
And I think if we don't have something in place, we don't know what may happen at any given time. And I really do appreciate this, because I've been getting a lot of phone calls about a lot of things. And one of the things that, I don't know if it's been shared with you or not, Terry, but Sam wrote out everything he wanted done and how he wanted it done, as far as his services
Okay.
are concerned. And the funeral director is managing all that for the family.
Right.
So, and even when it comes to how many political people can speak, all of that. He says he does not want a floor show. And he wants no politics at his funeral services. He wants a true church service, right?
I have a
So,
question.
uh-huh.
I know we have the bunting, do we have anything in front of City Hall? I don't come in the front.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
have the
City
flags
Hall.
flying.
Okay.
I know the flags, cause I see that, but I don't come in the front, so I didn't know. if we
My
had-
next one, do we have something to put on his desk by tomorrow? The black bunting, whatever?
there's some very, no, I was gonna say, not really, there's some very thin black ribbon, but we'd have to get something else.
I'm going to get something to wear tomorrow anyway. I can get some black material bunting
Okay,
and bring
that
it
would be
with me.
okay.
I get
I think we
here
need to
early.
put something on his
Right,
desk.
and then I think we should clean his desk off. Do you wanna take everything off his? Now, when I
Off the
say clean,
top, yeah.
Yeah, you know, cause do we wanna leave all the stuff on there?
You want it to look neat.
Neat
Right,
and clean.
Like I'm saying,
Take it
right,
off
take
the
all
top.
the excess. We can leave his books
Make sure his
stacked.
nameplate's
Right.
going off.
Just,
Right.
yeah, just his name,
Just clean
I
it up.
think is
Right.
good. It's like when they, when they did the horse, they walk the empty horse when,
Right,
like when
right,
Kennedy
right,
was,
yeah.
and that, because it's over, it's
Yeah.
done, the
So just
soldier's
clean-
gone,
clean
you
it
know,
We're gonna put
We did-
flowers on his desk.
I thought we were gonna do that for.
We'll do
Memorial.
that for the memorial.
memorial. Tomorrow,
But
I think it'd be
tomorrow,
nice if we had some black bunting and the desk
So
was
I'm-
clear,
I'm-
that's a
I'm gonna
good
be out
point.
there, so I'll get some right now. I'll get several feet, so, because we may need
Do we
it for
know the
different
arrangement,
times.
Sharon?
We
They
didn't
are
wanna
working on
clean
it.
out the desk yet.
I wasn't saying that, I was just saying
Oh,
the
no,
top
no,
of it.
just the top, make it
Right.
look
Yeah,
neat.
just the time, just put everything in the desk, the family can
But the
do
family may
whatever.
want to come and be
Right,
involved in that.
Right,
so we
right.
didn't want to deny
Right now,
that.
just put it in
Right.
the desk.
No, we won't remove anything or,
Right.
no, just make it look nice and neat.
So we can, implement some parts of this, but have further discussion and really work out
Right.
something that's gonna be honorific and dignified.
So would you propose that if, when we finish on this, we would make it part of our manual, or would it be part of the operating procedure?
I thought it might be in the manual some kind of way, but we can discuss that.
Okay.
you know. That's
Yeah,
why
I
we
think it
discussed
should be a
that.
part of the handbook, you mean, part of the handbook?
I mean, it could
an
be there,
appendix or
it
something,
could be a
you
part
know.
of the rules.
I'm
Right,
thinking
that's what,
road,
because
yeah.
see, the
Right.
handbook is for current
For the
employees.
employees.
Right,
The
this is
rules
not,
might
this
be
is,
better.
right, that's what
This
I
is
said.
in
I
our
said, that's
rules
what I
book,
said.
that's
Right.
where it could
This
go.
might be a better place for it.
Right, that's
In
what I
our
said to you
rules,
this morning.
yeah,
Right,
good idea.
Because this wouldn't happen if it was an employee.
correct.
No, this is just for a sitting alder.
Okay, well, that completes all on that. We can go to the next item if you're ready.
All right, thank you.
The next
Go right ahead, sir.
is on the employee compensation. We talked about this once before. Two things now, but some other things as well. Remember when we work on the manual, I was talking about that there are certain, even the new manual doesn't cover everything. There are areas that are covered in civil service that we have not necessarily covered in the manual. My point being is, I had recommended at the time that every time the pay bill is updated, that this committee should look at it and make a determination its effect upon the employees, the staff here. And that should, I think, we didn't make a motion to do it, but I'm just bringing that back up. I think there should actually be a motion for that is recorded, and that appears somewhere so that future boards will know to do that. That's one point. Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna say, and I'm thinking back, I think our pay is related to, we passed, maybe Paul Michael Beckley did this to somebody, we tied ours to whenever there was an increase, when you next got elected, that we got ours. Couldn't we somehow tie it into when they, cause do we have, I was trying to think, do we have classifications? We have classifications over here for our employees?
Surely don't. Those are some of the
Right.
issues. Right.
Maybe we
No.
need to look at that, cause then we could tie it in too, when they do it, that they also get the
So
raises.
I guess my question is, are we talking about the employees of the Board of Aldermen or
Employees
the
of the
Board of
Board.
Aldermen?
No, the employees of the
Oh,
Board of
okay.
Aldermen.
I
Cause
just
I think
wanna
our
be
raise is
clear.
already tied in,
Yours
that's
is
what,
tied in,
right,
but
ours is
not
tied
necessarily-
in.
Can you explain that?
Yeah,
Tied
I-
into what?
Tied into what, yeah.
So,
If we vote
We never get a raise.
yes, we do.
Culture.
Okay, so, and I'm trying to think, years ago, I think it was Beckley that passed the, thing that we were always trying to get raises and everybody was frowned upon because if you vote on your own
Yeah,
raise
yeah.
and when you come back and run, people would, always use that against you.
Sure.
So I think, and I will pull it, I think years ago we tied it to the, yeah, you get it next time, but it's tied to, I wanna say, a raise with the employees or something like that. I can't remember what it is, but, right, it's tied, I'll pull it.
Hold on.
'Cause I'm-
I sent a letter that we got from, I requested from Franks to do a review of how the board's salary got from the 3,000 or 4,000 in the
Right.
charter to where it is today.
Right.
And he outlined all of that. I did send everybody a copy.
Oh,
I
I missed
didn't
that.
get
There was some time, it was,
Yep, no,
Can
okay,
you send it again, please?
I will.
Yeah.
That was back in.
just do a search,
Cause it was
October.
interesting.
okay.
It was in
But
October.
isn't it tied into something?
It's
Right.
tied into some specific ordinances
Right.
that were passed.
So whenever somebody else gets a raise, so that we wouldn't have to be
Yes.
giving ourselves raises.
Raises all the time.
So we do get raises, you just have to wait till you
Whatever
get
they
it.
got during the
Yeah.
period before you were reelected, then you get it when you're reelected.
But those are not the
Yeah.
salaries I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you see what we care about.
I'm speaking about the staff here.
Right.
And there's two things. One, before I started as clerk, we had some staff members that were working double duty, and they need to be compensated. I would suggest they're compensated some kind of way for that. Lisa McNichols in particular. I mean, double duty, I mean not only their duties, but other positions. and that work, and working overtime. And there's no overtime here at the board.
Right.
Right.
You just have straight salary and that's it, whether you work 10 hours a day or not.
No comp time either.
We do comp time now, but that is comp time in terms of time. So
Right.
if you've gone late, I try to make sure that they get another day off that same amount of time. It doesn't always work, and most of the times it does not work. Because how meetings end up being scheduled. For example, they may be here until 7 o'clock in a meeting. The next meeting is 9 o'clock in the morning. And there's only so many people that do the meetings. The secretaries need to be doing your other work, so it causes the ones who do the meetings to have to come in repeatedly like that. And next thing you know, they never really get that time until the board's on break.
Okay.
That's a problem that we need to fix as well. But I will have a specific proposal on what Lisa could be compensated on. I just want to raise this again. And then also, the fact that the other civil service employees are getting this extra $1,000 and this other
Right, 'cause
increase,
yeah, our people know.
we need to make sure that our staff are comparable with that, in my opinion. And I think we would need to talk that through as well. I think sometimes we have to be careful. We applaud everybody else in the city and forget the staff that works with you every day. So many of the members of the board got up and spoke very laudable about everybody else and forgot about their secretary and this and that and how hard they work. And they work just as hard as any other department in this city, sometimes more. I'm just
I agree.
Well,
part of
I
my
don't-
job.
I-
It's from my
to me,
perspective.
that just goes without a lot of discussion. I'd like to make a motion that our staff get $1,000 one-time bonus like the rest of City Hall.
It's not a bonus.
Yeah, it
What
can't
is
be
it?
called a bonus. They
It's
told
a
us it can't be called a
Pay
bonus.
adjustment.
Well, we
It's
can,
not.
What's the
because we're not.
proper
We
civil
bonus?
could,
service.
maybe we could
We
say.
can do,
bonus.
we're different than civil
And-
service.
and-
Mr.
and that
Clerk, What is
compensation-
the proper motion? I wanna make
Yeah.
the motion now.
You can say, it's.
You already made it?
Okay, I just wanted to make, okay.
From my
Can
understanding.
I make a
So-
suggestion?
Unless you
A
want to change the
motion?
language.
Bonuses, civil service can
Okay.
do.
Yeah, is it that we just make sure that we follow the same compensations that are done for civil service employees? And then that way, whatever comes up in the future, instead of just this one thing, one
So
time.
you're suggesting
They
we
would get-
mirror the compensation
Yes.
of all
Yes,
ERS employees?
right.
Does that mean they get the 3% plus the
Uh-huh.
That
1,000?
would be-
And that money comes out of the Board of Aldermen's budget,
Yes.
and it's there?
It is there.
It's there.
It is there.
So we could tie that
And
in,
if
that's
it's
what
not
I'm
made-
saying.
We've already checked, it is there.
That's what I mean, that's why I want to
All
check.
that Language, we can write language just like that to put in our policy.
So
We
now-
can.
For,
There
so that
is-
each time we won't have to bring this
Right.
up.
There
Let me ask
is,
you something.
there is language in the rules about vacation time. It says that the members of the staff of the Board of Aldermen's vacation should be comparable to other city employees. So they've done this before, this president's board.
So let me ask you this, now, just this
But
past,
I didn't get a second, so I'm worried about
Oh,
it.
you
Well,
did
just
get a
wait,
second
wait,
from
we
me, I
will,
thought.
we will.
there's just some discussion.
But he,
No,
he,
I
he
wanted to
wanted
make
to
sure
hear
we
it
were-
on the
We
proper
were
thing.
clear
right.
and we were staying with
Right.
whatever the motion was. That's all I was saying. So if it didn't get a second, I'm good. We could back up and, because Marlene brought up a good point about
Clarity,
Yeah, you wanna
mirroring.
get the
So I
clarity.
could withdraw my motion and we get a better motion. So I'm gonna withdraw
Okay.
my motion.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Okay, one more question regarding that. Now, on these others, you know, the collector and the medical examiner, they all had to have a board bill for the comptroller to honor that pay raise. So will we have to do the same, or do we know? We
We've
don't
never
need
done it
to.
in the
Yeah, the
past.
board has never had a
No,
We've never
pay
had.
bill, it's just been in the
No.
budget.
Okay, I'm just asking. 'Cause-
no.
It's never had a separate pay.
So if we do that and make that part of our rules, that we would mirror whatever goes on, it would be there for, in perpetuity is the word I'm looking for, isn't that fancy?
Right. In perpetuity.
In
Yeah,
perpetuity.
so we wouldn't have to have our own pay bill. It would just automatically,
You put it in.
Follow
which makes
whatever
sense.
The
civil,
board is
Okay.
I
not
think
bad.
that's fair.
the ERS, yeah. Okay. Motion, please.
I'm gonna defer to the Alderman from the 19th. I thought she brought that
For her
clever
motion.
idea up.
Chair was The chair was recognizing you for the motion.
Well, I like to make a motion that, Board of Aldermen staff is compensated equally with ERS employees whenever there's a pay bill presented.
I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved in second. Do we call a roll on it?
Who's second?
Previous rule.
For Carl. We could do a previous roll.
Yeah.
There's no objection.
Okay, no objection. We'll use the previous roll.
That gives you. the
So
previous
they will
roll,
receive
8
their
line.
compensation along
Right.
with everybody else on the 29th pay period? Okay, great. Cool, because they've asked,
Okay.
several people have asked.
I know.
That takes care of that.
Okay. So your next item is the personnel issues hiring of employees.
Yes, you know, you gave the clerk the authority to go ahead and advertise the position. We did the executive secretary and the administrative aide. The other 2 positions will be, begin to advertise them on Monday. We didn't want to swamp the committee all at one time.
I appreciate that. So under executive secretary, we're interviewing for 2.
That's the other point. There is, yes, because we know that Sherry Bill is
Right.
retiring.
Right.
So we have 1 vacant position, now we have that position. But we also, because
I
of
thought
some of
we
the.
had 2 vacant positions already, I mean, besides Sherry's.
It's just one, it's just one.
Who?
However, we are asking, there are secretaries for the alder people. There are no secretaries for the administrative staff. That means the clerk has to find somebody who's unbusy to get something done. That does not make sense. Nor does the attorney have anybody that can type up anything. So we're recommending, and there's room in the budget to get an additional secretary who could be for more of that staff. It's been a strange setup. So,
You mean like a secretary at large that would help, like Lewis and anybody else that
the
needed?
clerk, the attorney, Sharita is the assistant clerk. There are letters that have to be generated by all of us.
Right.
Yeah, because she interfaces with all those different departments
The
and stuff.
departments, and there are official letters that have to come to the clerk announcing this and that. And either we do them ourselves or find a secretary who's unbusy at a given time.
That's not,
And that's not a good way to do business. So there is space and there's money available, and we put it in the budget for an additional
we're
secretary.
getting ready to have a real
So that's-
functional officer.
That would be 3 positions that can be hired for executive secretary. They're the same type of secretary as all the others. It's just that they'll be working.
And that would be good also for when somebody's out sick for more than a day or 2 or whatever, to just kind of step in and help.
That's what I was thinking, I don't know why I thought there were 3 positions.
That's probably
Well, I
why, because
mean,
we're
2.
talking about 3.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I thought there were 2, because it always seems like we're shorthanded.
Yeah, but it would be 3 that we could hire for.
Okay.
I make a motion, we hire an additional secretary to
Second.
serve the administrative staff, particularly the clerk and the.
Previous roll.
Objection.
So,
Did you say
so that
You
you,
were on
yeah, I
previous
know,
roll.
so that you know.
Am I on previous roll?
You
Oh,
on
okay,
previous roll.
okay.
It was the minutes,
Yeah. So it's been moved in second, no objection to previous row to hire 3 executive secretaries.
How are the, if it's all right, Mr. Clerk, how are the applications coming? If you've advertised, are we getting anybody with this job market right now? It seems so tight.
That's our next topic, Matt.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think we may need to go into closed session as, because we're talking about specific applicants. Unless you want to talk about them in general right now, we can.
Can we talk in generally
Sure.
and get that message across?
Okay.
Okay.
There were, there were a total of, for the executive secretary, 49 applications that were sent in, and for the administrative aide, 70.
Wow.
So the staff has gone through them and have honed them down to 9 administrative aide applications and 15 for the executive secretary. And some of these people, particularly the executive secretary, appear to be highly skilled.
Wow.
The administrative aide, a lot of those individuals didn't understand the position.
Now,
Even though we
this is-
clearly said you're lifting up boxes and doing this kind of stuff, they didn't get it. And so they were thinking like it was assisting some more data entry and that kind of stuff. So we got a lot of applications like that. And so it just came down to these really 9 whose language coincided with what the job duties were. I mean, that they make copies and that they distribute copies and they help set up meetings and that kind of
Now,
business.
did we ask that they be able to interface with the city website and provide that information? Because our web pages haven't been updated since.
Well, that's gonna be the IT person. That's a different position.
Oh, so we're gonna get an IT
We
person?
separated this IT out from administrative aid.
All right,
So
okay.
this person is going to be making the copies, doing the collating, setting up for the meetings, and then doing the scanning of documents to go into the archives.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll have an archivist recorder, who will write the minutes and then tabulate all of the archived information and, put it in the database. Over the summer, we did have April Ford Griffin's son scan resolutions from 1980 as far as he could go before he had to stop. So we got him up to around 1990. Then we had a request for someone for a resolution passed honoring Captain Alphen back in 1988. It was so nice
It was
to be
already
able to
there.
go to
Yeah.
the scanned document
Sure.
and find that resolution and send it to him within minutes, as opposed to going through those boxes and trying to find it. That's how significant that work can be.
Oh, absolutely.
And having these individuals assigned to do this work, it would really move the board to another level. It could. So there were a total of 49 applications for executive secretary, 70 for administrative aid. We have boiled the administrative aid position down to 9 applications and 15 for the for the executive secretary, knowing that we could hire 3 people out of this. Now, Sherry Bill does not leave till, well, she stops March 13th, but she's officially not gone to April 1st.
April 1st, I think she said.
She's leaving, huh? I didn't know.
Oh, she's retiring.
I didn't know that.
Retired.
Yeah.
She's retired. She sent out.
That's because you're in your little to-do
So-
over there.
So
We
this
do have
is-
the applications here
They don't
now,
get
we
the
can look
same
at
They
it
don't
later.
get the sun.
She's back.
You wanna do it
She's
later?
with you.
She doesn't talk to
So,
you.
what we have, it sounds like we do have some competent folks who have applied, where we can set up a schedule for interviewing. And if you don't mind, can you send something out to kind of get us on the same dates and time that we're available? I think we need at least 2 days for interviews.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
You want to interview all 15 and all 9 of these individuals? Is your thinking?
I think we do.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why, because you're trying to hire 3 people. If you were only trying to hire 1, I would probably cut that in half. Go right ahead.
I'd cut it by 2/3.
Yeah.
Take the top 5 and go from there. I'm sorry.
Do we want to separate out the secretary position and interview them all at once and then do the?
Absolutely.
Okay,
So not in the same city.
right.
Yes, absolutely.
I have a question.
I would recommend that. I was trying for us not to
Yes.
do it that way.
So we're gonna be looking for 3 secretaries, 1 in
And 1 administrative aid.
aid,
Right.
which was Terrence's position.
That was
Right.
Terrence's open,
Okay.
which we
So-
have slightly redesigned. Remember, we have a new job description for that.
Okay, and then we're gonna be looking for a data,
We're called a IT
IT.
aide
okay,
and then a recorder archivist.
okay.
Okay.
And when will you have those descriptions available?
We already adopted all those descriptions.
Oh, okay,
So
sorry.
I can
Well,
send them out
wasn't here.
again.
So, I missed that. That's fine, okay.
Yeah, we did. So, or is there any strong opposition to interviewing all 15?
On one day?
No.
Yes.
No, not on one day.
And you have to do them all.
No, last round.
But I've interviewed as
Some
much
long
as 12
days.
in one setting.
I would rather just do them all at once and be done. I
That's
mean,
too-
and
that's
one-
too
and-
much.
And do,
That-
I think you
would-
break it
that
up
would
at least
wear
to 2
me out.
days.
Yeah.
So you don't think we should like scrutinize those applications before we just want to call all those people?
We will have an opportunity to do that. But what I'm saying is, we want to get the schedules out there so that we don't end up, everybody calling saying, well, I can't make it. You know, we wanna know where we're going.
Okay. I'd say I'd like to get this done before we take break.
Okay, okay.
May I point
So
out,
that's in 2 weeks.
may I point out one thing to you? The third secretarial position will not be available to the new budget year.
Okay, so we're only hiring 2 now.
Immediately. too.
Okay, then yes,
Well,
we're
then
gonna
let's
cut
take
that
5
down.
off.
Yeah.
Well,
We can-
but
we can
here's the
still-
thing, we can still have them and let them know that they want, if we're gonna have them in the budget, do we have to are we budgeting it and will it has to pass E&A? Or has it already been kinda approved by, gentlewoman and gentleman agreement? Cause I am not gonna say a sexist term.
No, I mean, the budget's been submitted to the
Okay,
budget
and it's in there.
It's in
So
the
I think we
budget
should
that
go
submitted
ahead,
to the budget
right.
director, yeah.
And then that one person just wouldn't be able to start until,
July 1st?
It's not likely we're gonna find somebody who wants to sit and wait till July 1st.
but, okay, only thing I'm saying is, what if we do? What if they need to leave a job? Is there anybody that's already employed
Yes.
and they gotta give, you
Several
know?
of them are already employed.
Right, so by the time we finish interviewing, cause I don't know if we can do this, and it'll be April, March, end of March or something, we're hiring, so.
No, I would say we
I'm
would
hoping that
start
somebody can start
within a
in
week.
April.
Yeah, I mean, I would say 2 weeks after we
Yeah.
decide.
But I'm saying, if we find somebody who can start later, wouldn't it be better if we already had them ready to start? Okay, now maybe we think they won't, but maybe we could at least ask if, you know, we got one position that starts July the 1st or whatever, and would that be a problem with you? If they're out looking for
The
a
question
job?
can be asked, yes.
We could take it a step further and see if we can move that time period up by, because we have to.
Just add a position in the TO through E&A.
Right.
E&A.
Right. That
Yeah, 'cause
sounds
we
good
got
to
the
me.
money.
We have
The money
been
is
without
there, so-
staff so long, that's the best answer right
So
there.
I'm
Okay.
not waiting till
Let's-
July.
let's do it that
Unfilled
way.
positions do we
That
have?
way we
And
can
we've got
interview them all.
overage in our budget,
Exactly.
don't we?
Yeah, we got
I mean, we got money.
position, we just don't have 3 open
Secretaries.
secretary positions.
But
We
you
have
changed
more than
it.
3 open positions,
Okay.
period. Yeah.
If you do 50,
Let's,
So we had the money in the budget this year to add it mid-year.
Immediately,
Yeah.
okay.
let's do it.
but
Let's
if we,
do it.
but if we interview 15 people and you give them all a half-hour piece, that's 7 hours.
Well, we really don't need a
Unless you
half
want to just
hour.
give them 15 minutes.
I think 15 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes is more than
Everybody asks
enough.
one question and be done.
If I may, in my experience.
I mean, I don't care, I'm here all day
I've done,
anyway.
sat on several panels with the personnel department, and they will bring in, they wear you out, but they will bring in 10, 12 people
right.
in a day.
That's how
Now,
it's
it's
right.
not the best way to do it, because you're wore out by the time you
Correct.
get
I was
to
gonna
number,
say, you're like,
number,
That's
number
too
6,
much. I
you
think
kind of
you
wore out.
divide it in half.
But they will do.
What will happen is some of the people, you can interview for 15 or 20 minutes.
And you know
Some
that-
have nothing to say and you don't want to be bothering, and it ends in 10 minutes.
I mean, I'm here all day,
Yeah,
I don't care.
yeah.
I get here about 7 in the
But you're still
morning, I
gonna be
usually.
here all day.
It's not
That
all
time
day.
is still allocated, whether it's a 5-minute interview or a 15-minute interview.
So would you like to do 2 days of interviewing?
I would prefer 2. That, I'm just
Okay.
telling, for me, that's too much on me. I love to ask questions. It gets to a point where I'm not asking nothing, I just wanna go home.
So
And
let's
that
do
won't
2
be
days.
fair.
Yeah, let's do 2 days.
We had so many freeholder meetings that when somebody said something, and it was my person, I said, what did you say? Because we had been there like 6
Right.
hours, and like, I couldn't even hear what your reply was. Right, so I agree.
But may I ask a question, do you want to go through all these applications first, before doing the interview?
That's up to the committee if they feel they need to.
Well, if you send them to me, I would love to read, I'd like to read them so that I'm prepared, right?
Yeah, okay.
I don't want anybody's personal information,
Okay.
so you don't have to send them to me.
Anybody was hired.
Well, you could, are they redacted, not redacted?
Oh,
They
no.
How was it experience?
We struck them out,
Okay.
they're redacted.
I guess
We
Oh, they
can-
are?
We redacted them all.
Oh,
Oh, you've been
Well, then I-
making
then I could-
copies for everybody?
We did
Yeah.
make copies
It was
for-
Oh,
for-
you do have them already?
We have them already. We're prepared today in case you wanted to do so.
There you go, see there?
Oh, well then,
Preparation.
yeah,
If-
I'll take
we
them.
can
though.
give
We're
you a
overwhelmed. Okay, I won't mind.
yeah, I think I like to
I'd
go
like to
There's a
through.
little concern about leaving here with them,
No,
but
right.
if you can do it here, we feel more.
yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I'm a member of the bar. I actually take people's stuff all the
Stuff all
time. But I will keep it here, but that's not a problem.
That's
When
a-
you
Right.
say
That's,
keep it
all
here,
of us are actually been sworn in,
To be
and
able
so
to do
all
so.
we should be able to do this, we just have to be told not to.
But
This
it
you're
is
talking
like
about,
that.
we
You
can
can't
keep it
share
in
it.
our office, right?
Right,
We don't-
I'll just keep it in my office.
We can keep it in our office.
I would like us to keep them here, okay?
In this room or?
No, here in your office.
In your office.
Okay,
I
yeah.
prefer
I
that.
actually have a
I-
place that locks
I
I
in
don't
my
don't-
wanna carry
office.
all that.
For me, I don't need them. I'll wait to see the people.
Okay.
Okay.
So we've come a
moving
long
on.
way, very quickly, I like this. So we've decided that we're gonna have 2 interview days. We also decided that, the copies are prepared. If you'd like to have them, you can have them today to review. And we recognize that we can hire that third person, along with the other 2. And Tom Shepherd will take care of all the appropriate things to have that done. So,
One more question, and you might have said this, but maybe there's been so much. So we have applications or resumes for secretaries and
The administrative aid.
The administrative
and
aid.
both
Oh, okay,
positions.
cool.
For both.
All
We've
right.
gone through them.
5 and 10, right?
Yeah.
5 for the administrative aid?
It's
There-
9, I think.
We have 9 for the administrative aid.
Okay.
And 15 for the
15,
executive, for the two
Right.
executive.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all righty.
So we good?
You gonna just be seeing something.
Amen.
That's right, you have enough. We have 2 1:00 meetings.
Yes,
Today.
yes, you do.
And I have a 12 o'clock meeting.
Yeah, so we gotta get out
And I
here.
had 11:30.
Well, that completes all that we had on the agenda.
That's all we have on the agenda. Is there anything else? We have the room for announcements if anybody has anything they need to say.
When are we going to do these interviews? That's what we haven't
We're,
decided.
we're
What-
going
do
to
we
send a
have
memo out. You're gonna select a couple of dates and
Okay.
times. We're gonna answer if we're available.
Okay.
And we wanna try to get this done before we go out of session, okay?
Absolutely, yes. The sooner the better.
Yes,
Well, my suggestion is mostly we don't have anything on Mondays, so that's usually a good day for most people.
that's usually a good day.
And I know, don't scream and holler, but Fridays after the board, most of us are already
I would be
here.
up for that.
And we don't have that many committee meetings now, because there's nothing that you could put on the,
Yeah.
yeah, so we may be in good shape.
Well, Wednesdays we do, cause we'll be doing it
Yeah.
right, so Wednesdays is
Right.
bad for Carol
Wednesday
and I.
morning, yeah,
Right.
but we could do Wednesday
Thursday, I
afternoon.
do have,
Yeah,
I have a public safety
If
meeting.
That's
you want
what I
to,
said.
if you want to interview people. you're talking
Right.
about on-
Right, for the interview time.
That's possible. Fridays, after the board meeting, there's quite a bit that the staff has to do.
Okay.
That is to prepare the calendar.
Yeah.
That is
They're
to-
busy, yeah.
To
Minutes and-
compile the,
yeah.
because nowadays, you notice you get the minutes right away. And so that requires the staff to get the minutes together Friday to go to multigraph on Monday. They send it back by Wednesday, so we have it prepared to send out to everybody by Thursday. So it's a very tight schedule, Ron.
What
So
about
it's-
Mondays?
On Mondays is easy.
And then maybe Tuesday if nobody's, do you have anything?
We don't normally have anything on Tuesdays either.
I have streets on Tuesday if there are any bills. I was
Tuesday
trying
morning.
to clean out all the
Okay.
bills,
Right.
but some people didn't show up the other day,
Right.
so.
Sorry.
You got another one scheduled?
Yeah,
I have
Friday
an
morning, tomorrow
appointment
morning.
Friday morning.
That was
Tomorrow
just to
morning
do
at
it.
9.
I was just doing Gracia 2 bills that were,
Oh.
that I asked to hold.
I got you.
Okay.
Unless they found one, you know.
But we're not talking about, you're talking about this coming Monday, maybe meeting?
Yes. If we're gonna move and get it done quickly.
Okay. And that is for you to review the applications or actually begin the interviews?
Do we have enough time to set up interviews?
Today
'Cause this
is
is Thursday.
We can make calls.
I'm ready to move if we're gonna, because we have been without help for so long.
And we want to move with the executive secretary first?
Yes.
All right.
Are there anybody, in that application, are there any people that used to work for us before?
Some said that they were, like, I can't think of his name, that he's gonna apply, he used to do Terrence's position,
Okay.
but he didn't apply.
He didn't apply.
I know Michelle.
No secretary.
That's why I
used to
thought
work for
Michelle
us.
was gonna.
Oh,
Yeah, I
pardon
don't
me,
know.
you're correct, Michelle. Pardon me.
Did Michelle,
Remember Michelle, she did apply,
Okay.
Okay,
she applied this time.
okay, good. Yeah, I like Michelle.
yeah.
If people had her, want her back, you got my
Oh,
vote.
I take that, let me correct myself. When you
Correct
said that, I'm thinking people way back, both Michelle and Chanel.
Yeah.
And who?
Chanel, our
Oh,
receptionist.
She applied for secretary?
She did,
Yeah.
And there's 2 secretary spots.
total of 3.
3.
So 3, so good. Well, I can narrow the list down real quick. No, that's not fair.
Okay?
So I think we're in good shape. Any other comments? Okay. Hearing none, meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
So I sent you